Hi guys, welcome back, and today I'll be doing the next part for What If King Cold went to Namek instead of the Ginyu Force. Now last time we left off, we saw the likes of King Cold and Frieza make a return. However, they were quickly dispatched by the likes of Goku and Vegeta using their newly found Super Saiyan Blue power. With things on Earth calming down, let's jump into the story. We join in and we see three people training. Three people who gave up training a while ago but are now picking it back up. These people are the likes of Gohan, Goten and Trunks. After being powerless against the might of Frieza and King Cold, it's put a fire underneath the hybrids' bellies to get stronger again. So they've begun to train a little bit, with Gohan taking up the training for the kids and also training his wife a little bit more so they can see some more growth coming through. The three are seeing a lot of growth from this training. With Gohan trying to teach the younger hybrids how to activate the Super Saiyan 2 form, hoping this power will be enough to make sure that they are never in an emergency ever again. But while Gohan teaches himself something else, you see, Gohan's trying to master a technique he got taught years ago, and he only ever really used it to get to and from school. He hasn't ever really used it, and he did it just so he could leave from his house to go to school a bit later on and make it in time. With him working on it right now, he hopefully can start transmissioning to Whis' planet. Now, like I said, this is pretty clearly the instant transmission, and his plan is to get it to the point where he can teleport himself to Whis' planet, like his father can now do quite easily, hoping that if there is ever an emergency he can go and at least grab his father, or he can get some training in every now and again. With this being his plan for the most part, like I said, he's teaching the two younger Saiyans the Super Saiyan 2 form, with them getting there a little bit, but it's a bit of a struggle, so he's also fine-tuning their technique and fighting style. Videl also gets stronger because of this, but she doesn't learn anything too interesting. However, nothing too interesting happens, and we'll continue on with the normal story, with the canonical next part of Super being Universe 6 versus Universe 7. The tournament is still set up in the same old fashion, with one small change. We are swapping Tien out for Boo. Thanks to the fact that Piccolo put in a good word for the Triclops, it led to him getting added to the tournament. Even though most Earthlings were considered, and even with the hybrids, Gohan couldn't make it, and Goten and Trunks just didn't have enough going for them right now. And also, if they were going to have one, they needed to have the other, and they didn't have the extra slot, so they decided to go with Tien. Now, things here go pretty normal. Goku fights Botamo and wins, and then he fights Frost, who cheats like normal and knocks Goku out of the ring. Piccolo then heads into the ring, with Piccolo like normal getting poisoned by Frost. Even though Piccolo is stronger here, he probably wouldn't expect it. With Frost discovered to be a cheater, this leads to Goku getting allowed to come back into the tournament, and Frost getting disqualified. Unlike Canon, Piccolo doesn't get swapped out for Vegeta here. Vegeta's happy because he killed Frieza a while ago, so he's pretty content and lets Piccolo stick around in the tournament. So Piccolo continues to fight on in the tournament, with him then going up against Vegeta. With Piccolo having the ability to throw around some good insults, he gets under Vegeta's skin or armour, and after a while he takes him down. With this leading to the next fight being Cabba versus Piccolo. Piccolo isn't really going to take the time to mentor Cabba to go Super Saiyan. He doesn't really mind too much, so he just wants to get this fight over with. So he has a good fight with the kid, but this ends with Piccolo winning. Vegeta is upset that he didn't get to have a fight with another Saiyan, however he doesn't think too much of it, and this leads to the final fight being Piccolo versus Hit. Right now Universe 7 has all of their fighters still in the tournament, with Universe 6 only having one. So Piccolo, who is ready to try and sweep the rest of this team, does get ready to fight. However, he can sense how strong Hit is, and he decides that his best bet is to jump up to his Kaioken times 50. With this not doing much other than to make sure Piccolo has a bit of a smaller gap to close between himself and Hit, it is just his best bet and his only option right now. With Hit being relatively impressed by this power shown, however, he doesn't waste too much time. He goes for a few hits on Piccolo and takes him out. The reason Piccolo is taken out so easy is because he doesn't know what he's up against with Hit. Even though there is a significant power difference, if Piccolo had an idea of how the time skip worked or saw it a little bit, I would give him somewhat of an advantage here. Piccolo's a genius when it comes to battle strategies. You could probably break it down very fast, but not having an idea of what he's up against, I'm not giving him the advantage here, and he gets taken down very fast. Following this, Vegeta heads into the ring. to fight Hit, with the Prince jumping up to his Super Saiyan Blue form. With his catching Hit's attention, this is the first power that's really interested Hit. Some things I want to say is here, Vegeta actually stands a pretty good chance here. He's a lot stronger and also is full on energy. So this fight is a lot fairer, with Vegeta having an idea of what Hit's time skip is, thanks to Piccolo giving him a brief rundown of what he thought it was. It does lead to Vegeta playing safe to try and figure out how Hit's ability works, which does lead to Jacko and the Galactic King figuring out what it is. So Vegeta now has an idea of what he's working with. Alongside this, Vegeta has been slowly breaking down how Hit's moves. He's figuring out his fighting style step by step, however Vegeta has taken quite a good chunk of damage here. After all, Hit is quite strong and his powers are really awkward to come around. But Vegeta has also landed a blow or two on Hit. Eventually, after a lot of hits, Vegeta manages to catch one of Hit's blows and lands a massive hit on the assassin's chest. With Hit surprised at this, but also smirks. With the likes of Vegeta having caught Hit's attention fully now, the two begin to have a good fight. Vegeta is actually breaking down to Hit's fighting style more and more, however he is second guessing himself every now and again. He's not trusting his instinct so much, and he's eventually overthinking things, with this leading to Hit getting more blows on Vegeta than he normally would. Vegeta and Hit's fight does rage on for a while, however it does lead to Hit eventually growing his time skip by such a massive amount that it leads to Vegeta getting ringed out. However, Hit had taken some serious damage. Next in is Tien. With Tien heading into the ring, unsure of what he's going to do, he does not really have any idea of how he stands a chance against this power, but he's a bit optimistic. Hit is injured and this might give him a chance here. Plus, he's managed to break down Hit's fighting style thanks to the third high he's been following this match super easy. Now, Hit is not really sure what to expect from the Earthling, but he does get ready. With Tien jumping up to his Kaioken, he takes a fighting stance. With him having followed how Hit fights, he gets ready to catch the first hit that comes towards him. However, the assassin goes to ring Tien out very fast and very easy, but he goes for a very lazy blow as well. Thanks to this, it leads to Tien being able to follow the hit and dodge it actually, which means that Tien managed to dodge one of Hit's blows. With Tien pretty happy about this, Hit begins to take him a bit more seriously. He uses his time skip to charge straight towards Tien. Luckily, Tien, in the lick of time, does use the Aradratian clone technique to split himself and dodge the attack. With Tien rolling away from this move, he quickly forms up a tri-beam hand sign, with him firing it off in the direction of Hit. This being a very weak technique and a weakened down version of the tri-beam, because he didn't want to charge it for too long, but he's hoping it will do some damage. With this attack only missing when Hit uses the time skip ability to appear right in front of Tien, with the Triclops getting hit by one attack and gets sent across the arena. Tien is bummed out that he didn't manage to do anything in this tournament, however, everyone is praising him for managing to dodge Hit's moves. Even Beerus does give a little bit of praise to the Earthling, which is really weird. Finally, we're with Goku and Monoka. Goku is going first, much like normal, and this fight is quite similar to canon. However, I would give the advantage to Goku. He's stronger, Hit's pretty banged up, and all in all, everything stacks up in Goku's favour. Vegeta had landed some good blows on Hit, and also Goku has seen how Hit's time skip works more, so he's ready to do this. The fight goes on for a while, with Goku managing to win pretty much without ever having to use his Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken. Goku does win, and this leads to Universe 7 winning. Goku does state to Hit that he would like to have a match where he's full on energy, and Hit can use any technique he wants. With Hit not really evolved this same rivalry or friendship he made with Goku, he sort of agrees, sort of doesn't, but he has sort of developed that rivalry friendship with Vegeta, so if Vegeta was to ask, he would say yes. Now, things here go pretty normal. Zeno shows up, Goku makes friends with him, Zeno wants to hold a massive tournament, which is something which will happen later. Beerus wishes for his brother's Earth to come back, and Goku and Vegeta continue their training with Whis. Now, a few months go by, and one day someone just appears on Whis' planet. Everyone is confused to see Gohan. Gohan had got enough training with the instant transmission, and he got some lecturing from the likes of Krillin, Tien, Piccolo, and all of them gave him a rundown on the best ways to use it. And now Gohan has the ability to teleport here. It's very draining for him, and he's really tired after doing this, but he locked onto his father's key and managed to get here. Now, He would teleport in for a few days every now and again after getting permission from Whis to be trained by him, with Whis not really minding too much and impressed that he managed to do that in one jump. With Gohan now training, like I said, for a day or two with Whis and Beerus. But he does always head home after a short time and continues his training back on Earth with Goten, Trunks and Videl, and also leading his everyday normal life. I want to jump forward to the future timeline to get ready to cover some stuff in the Goku Black arc. Well, I suppose we'll be covering something which resembles the Goku Black arc, but I've got some other stuff to cover before that. Last time we were here, we saw our heroes head off to Yardrat to get some training in, with the two heroes spending a few years on Yardrat training, with the pair learning everything Yardrat has to offer. So they are now insanely stronger compared to where they would normally be. With the two heading back to Earth every time they just feel like they need to go home, with them also dealing with Cell during one of these trips back. Now, I mentioned last time we were here that they sensed something really weird on Namek, with the threat showing itself on Earth only a year into the pair's training. With Krillin recognising this power, he tells Trunks to grab on, we're heading back to Earth quickly. With Krillin teleporting them back to Earth, and them learning this power is King Cold and Frieza, who both got brought back on Namek years ago thanks to the Dragon Balls. However, unlike in the normal timeline, these two haven't been training. After hearing how Earth was left destroyed by some androids and Goku died to some heart virus, the Frost Demons never really felt like coming here, just sounded like someone beat them to destroying it, so they left it be. And once they heard that the planet was getting restored, they decided to come back and check out what was happening. With this meaning the two Frost Demons haven't really got any stronger. They could have gotten marginally stronger, but this also could mean they've not gotten stronger at all. So, I believe that they would probably just be offed very fast as pretty much non-threats, with the likes of Krillin probably having the power to beat them himself. Trunks just finishes them off by jumping up to Super Saiyan and destroying the two. With this getting rid of the evil in the universe, they both head back to Yardrat to finish off their training, with them just getting on with their life. And I'm going to be honest, there's not a lot I need to cover here. I can give you a short rundown of how I think things would go, but thanks to the fact the two have trained on Yardrat, it's pretty much a cakewalk the next little bit for them. Now, the Boo Saga comes around, and this is very much in the favour of the likes of Krillin and Trunks. Thanks to their time spent on Yardrat, this means they both know everything Yardrat has to offer, including Force Spirit Fission. And they just pretty much are able to kill Deborah, defeat Barbady, and don't have any casualties, meaning Shin is still alive, Kibito lives, everyone survives here. With the Boo Saga not really happening, it just leads to Trunks getting trained under the Kais like normal, with Krillin not wanting to go, as he's getting quite old and he's trying to pass down the torch fully to Trunks. He's only there really for support. He's also sort of taken up a role of Master Roshi, and he's trying to train up the next generation a little bit, with him picking up a student or two, but nothing major. After all, Earth is back in a time of peace, so it's just normalness. So, leading into the Goku Black arc, Zamasu still steals Goku's body. However, things don't quite go to plan for the Kai, with him arriving the future timeline's Earth and starting to destroy the place. However, the moment this happens, Trunks and Krillin do respond. It's probably worth noting that Krillin would be getting on in his years and probably would still show up to the fight, however he's probably losing some of his power due to his age. Now, when they show up, Goku Black does laugh at the arrival of these two, thinking that they won't have anywhere near enough power to fight him off. With Krillin noticing how this person looks exactly like Goku but senses nothing like him, this is something that Krillin doesn't like. The fact that it looks like someone's using his friend's body to destroy his home, or someone who looks like his best friend is doing this. With Trunks jumping up to the Super Saiyan 2 form, he begins to fight off the threat. Both Krillin and Trunks aren't enough to fight off Black, with Black not worrying about anything that's being thrown at him, and is just countering the two with ease. However, after a brief nod and confirm, both Krillin and Trunks have a plan. Krillin gets up in Black's face and shouts out Solar Flare, blinding the attacker, and Trunks hits the evil Kai in the chest, with Black laughing at how that attack didn't do anything to harm him. However, Trunks smirks and places his hands out in a weird way, with Trunks beginning to use the Force Spirit's fission technique, stealing Black's energy. The hybrid begins to use the Kai Kai technique to jump around the battlefield to avoid anything Black throws at him. Black would be familiar with this technique thanks to the likes of Vegeta having it, he just didn't expect future Trunks to have it. So now he's trying to defeat Trunks before he takes too much energy. With Black solely concentrated on attacking Trunks, he doesn't notice Krillin, who teleports in using the instant transmission technique and attacks Black on the back, with him also beginning to use the Lost Spirit Fission technique, and this eventually leads to Black losing energy at a rapid rate. Eventually, he's unable to fly, and soon he has no energy left. Trunks then sees the opening he needs to kill the attacker, and this ends Goku Black's reign before anything too crazy can happen. With the other Zamasu, the immortal one, seeing this, he decides that he will show up and kill these two. With Zamasu showing up, Trunks is confused. This is a Kai, isn't it? And he doesn't really know what's happening. Like normal, Goku Black did kill Shin, and that got rid of Beerus, making Whis idle. So Trunks doesn't really have any backup from the other world, Kai's anyway. And this leads to the two Earth fighters getting ready to fend off against this, Kai. With Trunks having more than enough power to overpower Zamasu, however he can't kill him thanks to his immortality, which Zamasu shares. After a short exchange and a long battle, Krillin figures out a plan. He shouts out to Trunks, telling him to hold him off for just a little bit longer. Trunks trusts his mentor, who then disappears using the instant transmission, and soon reappears with a bottle and a lid and a seal. What's happening? Krillin smiles before putting his hands out and says, "This is a technique Master Roshi used a while ago. It's not going to be perfect, it's sort of just going to have to do." Krillin had seen the Martha being used because Master Roshi thought it might be a way to stop the androids, but it was sort of a gamble, and this is before he went into his submarine to hide away. So Krillin only knows it's sort of. He was going to grab Master Roshi, but this is all he's got at the moment. With him doing the Martha, it's imperfected and it's not terribly strong. Zamasu is getting pulled in slowly, but he is slowly also trying to claw himself out of it. But thanks to the fact that Trunks is hanging around on the side, he begins to blast at Zamasu, trying to get him into the cup as much as possible. With this leading to Zamasu eventually getting put into the battle, it leads to the two fighters winning, and it leads to everything in the future being saved, and the world goes back into peace once again. There's no need for time travel, there's no need for anything really, they can just get on and live the rest of their lives. Yes, they've lost Shin, and Trunks didn't really get to complete his training as a Supreme Kai, but he's at least stronger, and thanks to the fact that Yardrat had some good techniques for them to learn, it led to them winning and never really needing to go back for help. Now let's jump back to the present. So I'm going to cover some of the Tournament of Power, mostly the beginning of it, so things like the recruitment arc, the expedition matches, and I'll just give everyone an idea of how each character here ranks up. But for the most part, since the last major event in this timeline, which was the Universe 6 vs 7 tournament, it's been peaceful. Nothing's happened during this year, which does lead to Goku getting bored and heading off to Zeno. However, there is no future Zeno here, so it's only the one Zeno. So Zeno's been a bit bored as well, meaning that when this tournament idea is brought up, it's likely that Zeno had already pretty much got the idea down and was just pretty much on the edge of announcing it. Goku showing up had picked up the pace a little bit. Now, during this, things go pretty normal. The expedition match is set up between Universe 7 and Universe 9, so things here are pretty much rounding up like they normally do. There's one small change I'm going to make, and that is the fact that Piccolo is swapping out for Buu, which is fine because I believe Piccolo here would be stronger than Buu, so let's cover some of these matches, and I'm only going to give a quick run through as I don't think much of importance would happen here. First of all, we have Piccolo versus Basil, and he defeats him with ease. It's quite an easy match for Piccolo. If he needs it, he has the Kaioken times 50, he has the Yardrat techniques, it's a very easy match. Moving on, we have Gohan versus Lavender. Gohan is stronger than his canon counterpart thanks to the fact he's been doing training with Whis, and also the fact that he sort of does training at home. Gohan does need to pull out a new technique he's picked up. Well, technique, form, we'll call it the same thing. With him showing off his Super Saiyan God during this match, this power gives Gohan the absolute ability to win this match with ease, and he never really gets affected by the poison. He's still very well off before the poison takes full effect. Now, thanks to the fact Gohan showed off, the ability to use God Ki, everyone in the audience reacts the same way as they did in canon to Goku. Now, because this is a best 2 out of 3. It does mean the fights don't need to continue, however Goku does want to fight Borgamo, so the battle does happen. However, this version of Goku is a lot stronger than canon, so he pretty much wins this fight with ease. Toppo still wants to have a fight with Goku to prove a point, and this fight goes down, but this fight is much more in Goku's favour. Remember, Goku is much stronger in this timeline than his canon counterpart. Now we jump over to the next part, which is the recruitment arc. Now, after this fight, the 3 fighters who took part in the expedition match start forming up a team with one another, with them deciding that it's best to get Vegeta now. Everything with Vegeta, Whis and Bulma goes like normal, and they start talking out of a plan. With Goku saying how he would like to bring Krillin and the androids onto the team, everyone thinks this to be a good idea, and tell Goku to head off and start getting the warriors now. Goku heads off using instant transmission to collect his friends, and we'll jump back to that later. Piccolo then says he would like to bring Tien with him. With everyone not having an issue with this, Piccolo heads off. However, as he's leaving, Piccolo gets contacted by Kami, and the old man wants to go see him. With the Namekian not sure what to do, he uses the instant transmission to go sort out things with Tien, and then he's going to head off up to Kami. With this leaving just Vegeta and Gohan, they are left to decide the best 2 people to take for the last 2 spots. They both come to the same idea, with this being the likes of Goten and Trunks. Vegeta says how they are strong, but the 2 are very immature and might not take this seriously. But Gohan goes on to explain how, if he's given time in the time chamber, he can whip them into shape. Plus, the 2 have got a lot more mature since the battle against Frieza years ago. He would like to give them a chance if Vegeta would allow it. With Vegeta fine with this idea, the thought of letting his son get stronger is great to him. And Gohan uses instant transmission to pick up Trunks, then pick up Goten, and also then head back to Capsule Corp to collect some food. He's heading into the time chamber, he knows to bring extra food. With this happening, Vegeta heads off into the gravity chamber to get some more training in, with him also spending a bit of time around Bulla. With the recruitment arc not taking as long as everyone who pretty much is recruiting people can teleport, it just takes a few hours at max. And I'll give a rundown of everything that happens quickly. Pretty much everything that Goku does goes pretty normal, however there is a small change. Goku explains the full situation to the likes of Android 18, 17 and Krillin. Piccolo pushed it to not keep this a secret from people, knowing that people would freak out in the time when they heard about it, so they know it's best to, take part. With this managing to sort of help convince 17, however, like normal, Goku does have to say that someone will stay around and watch his island. With Goku thinking that maybe Goten and Trunks can do it, he doesn't say this out loud though. He also thinks that maybe Videl or Yamcha, there's some strong people they can ask to do it, which does lead to Goku's pretty much recruitment part going pretty normal, and Goku then heads off to train with Vegeta, who's also getting some training from Whis. It's just working out sort of well for these. Now, following this, we'll jump over to Piccolo. Piccolo is pretty much going through the same sort of arc that Goku did when it came to recruiting Tien, with him sorting out the whole situation a bit faster, and he does consider recruiting Master Roshi, however he already feels that they have enough tactical fighters in there. After all, he already knows Gohan has picked up Goten and Trunks, he senses it, and he's trying to figure out what Gohan's currently doing. But he also believes that with the techniques from Yardrat, Master Roshi might just be out of class, so he doesn't invite the old man, who does offer but does get denied. Now, after this, Tien and Piccolo head up to the lookout where Kami is filled in on the whole situation, and Kami now feels nervous. He explains that maybe it's time for the 2 separate beings to become one again. Piccolo is confused by this, and Kami goes on to explain how they can fuse back into one to regain all of their lost power. This would make Piccolo miles stronger, however it would leave the Earth without Dragon Balls. He had been thinking about it for a while, but because of the fact Earth would lose Dragon Balls, he has stopped himself time and time again. But this time, the whole universe is on the line, so he feels like even the smallest boost in power will help. Piccolo does agree, and the 2 fuse back into one. This means that Piccolo has changed his ranking in terms of power amongst the team. Everyone on the planet is shocked to sense Piccolo's newfound energy and complete and utter massive, power. No one does too much right now and just leave it to wait and see what has happened with Piccolo. But for right now, his ranking amongst the team is much higher. After a few short instant transmissions around, Gohan has picked up both Goten and Trunks and has grabbed a full day's worth of food. He then heads up to the time chamber using the instant transmission. With him and Piccolo sharing a small bit of information with one another, where Gohan learns the full situation of why Piccolo's got so much stronger. And then Gohan starts heading to the time chamber with the two boys, asking Mr. Popo to get them out after one full day. Gohan has still been elected team captain here, so he needs a bit of time to come up with a plan. Gohan heads in, and he already has an idea of what he's doing to train Goten and Trunks up, and he's starting to put his plan into motion. However, we won't be covering this right now. I want to jump forward to the next day, only a few hours away from the tournament. Everyone has collected themselves at Capsule Corp. Gohan goes on to explain the plan, which is the same as normal, but 17 does almost leave. He's unsure of who's watching his island, and once he is told who is watching his island, he's not very confident that they are strong enough to defend it. However, Gohan goes on to explain how Videl is perfectly strong enough to do this. After Goku explaining what the deal was between 17 and himself, Gohan decided to send his wife, Hercule, and Pan. It's sort of like a holiday for them. After all, it's miles away from any press, so it would just be a nice little break for them. Gohan hadn't filled in Pan and Videl on the whole situation right now, and Hercule is left in the dark. It's just to make sure they stay calm, and even if this is their last few hours, it means they will have a nice relaxing time. This does leave everything pretty much ready to head into the tournament, and I'm just going to cover the powers of how the group ranks up, strongest to weakest obviously. So in first place is Goku and Vegeta, who are stronger than their canon counterpart. If I had to give the edge to anyone, it would be Goku, thanks to his Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken. But for what, just in Super Saiyan Blue, Vegeta and Goku are equal. They are both stronger than their canon counterparts, and it's not by a lot, but it's enough that is noticeable. Following on is Piccolo, who, thanks to his fusion with Kami, has let himself jump up a massive amount. Thanks to his Kaioken times 50 as well, he's one of the strongest and comes in at second place pretty much. And he is also stronger than his canon counterpart. I don't think I need to bring this up. Everyone here is pretty much stronger than their canon counterparts, minus the likes of the androids. Following on in third is the likes of Gohan and Android 17. It's a tie. Gohan has managed to put himself about level with pretty much the canon version of Goku, which is fairly good for him. Keep in mind that Android 17 did fight Super Saiyan Blue Goku to a pretty good standstill, so I believe that this is a fair place to put Gohan after a year in the time chamber, and I think this is a fair place to put him. Following along behind Android 17 is Android 18. I honestly believe that Android 18 is weaker than her brother. I know it's stated at some point that she is weaker, but it's not really brought up in Super. I don't know the massive amount of difference or how big it is, but I believe that she is a significant amount weaker than her brother, thanks to the fact I don't think she could fight off Super Saiyan Blue Goku. Following along behind her is Goten and Trunks, who are the same strength pretty much, and they are stronger than their canon counterparts, and thanks to their year in the hyperbolic time chamber with Gohan, they have picked up something new. Behind them is Tien, who is massively ahead of his canon counterpart, thanks to everything on Yardrat, the Kaioken. I don't really need to talk about it, and then there's Krillin, who just has some Yardratian techniques and is stronger than his canon counterpart. This is the full team. This is everything that's going to happen when we go into it. I'm leaving that for the next part. I hope everyone has enjoyed this What If for the most part. I've enjoyed making it. We'll probably finish it off next time, and we'll probably do a little bit more than the tournament, and people probably already know what I'm going to cover then. But like I said, I hope you all have a good day or a great night, and hopefully I'll see you next time.